Hi, everyone. So we're 2 weeks away from the election, and I was thinking that maybe you'd like to hear kind of the experiences we had canvassing over the last 2 months. There's been a number of wonderful things that have happened, and I thought I'd share. So we're going to do a series of little videos over the next week, just short ones to tell you a little bit about what's been happening. So first of all, I can tell you we started over 2 months ago, and we have finished virtually every house in the entire district. We got a couple more to hit. We'll finish those up, but it's been an incredible experience. And I remember the very first day we started, I had gone 4 houses. The very first day I'd gone 4 houses, and I called my wife and I said, "Sue, I got a problem." She goes, "What's that?" I go, "I've only gone 4 houses and it's taken me an hour and a half." I says, we'll never finish the district at this pace." But I absolutely love people, and I love talking to people, and it was just a wonderful experience. The number of volunteers that walked with me as well. There were a few negative experiences, but those were really exceptionals. People were just generally kind and considerate. When they could tell that I was exhausted, people were offering me water, even offered me places to sit down to rest. It was really, truly an amazing, wonderful experience to meet people in Georgetown. And it's exactly what I expected. People were just generally kind and considerate and thoughtful and very inquisitive. And it was just a great experience. So thank you. And we'll keep these videos going. You'll hear more. But thank you again. So one of the things I want to talk about next is yard signs. Given all the political anxieties in the community, to ask someone to put a yard sign up is a big deal. And it was a big ask. Over the years, I particularly didn't like yard signs, campaign yard signs either. I have to mow around them, pick them up, all those kind of things. But what I found here as I campaigned is people wanted those yard signs, and they became little beacons of hope for people who felt that they were afraid to talk and express their points of view, given all the climate. And yet, when they started seeing yard signs go up, neighbors started talking. So, I didn't feel I'm not alone. Other than my neighbors feel the same way. And I realized that over time, it wasn't just for my name recognition. It was that they literally became messages to neighbor. I'm not alone. You're not alone. And I was empowered by that. We had a hard time keeping up with the pace of the demand for yard signs. It was incredible. And we've got hundreds out there, as you all know. And so thank you for those that did take a yard sign and for those that didn't, because we know that it was a big ask. But it worked. People sent good messages to unite the community. So thank you very much. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about is who we're representing, who I seek to represent in this campaign. You know, when I first gave my very first speech at our kickoff event back on May 1st, I talked about a goal of uniting the community. That's really important to me, given all the divisiveness that's happened. And as I walk the community, sure, I know I have the experience to help the county on a lot of different topics, but this uniting of the community is critical. And I remember going to one lady's house, and when she saw me, she opened the door and started crying. Or I remember another lady who came out and said that given the diversification within her family structure, her family just doesn't feel welcomed here in Georgetown anymore, or in Ottawa County. Or another lady who's said that she and her husband have so many special needs that they need extra services through the county public health, community mental health, public services, that she's critically worried that those services are going to be cut. And she was talking about the impact of some of these budget cuts on her, and people just don't realize the impact, she was saying, to people like herself and her husband. I saw that kind of that happening in many people. And so to me, that's who I'm seeking to represent here. It's yes, of course, it's the vast majority of all of us that just want good roads and good parks, and we need water and those kind of things. But it's also those people like the 3 I just mentioned, who are literally feeling that they're not welcomed or they're not going to be supported in this county given what's happened over the 2 years. And for a woman to cry when she sees me because I'm a symbol of hope for her, that's who I'm representing, and I will never forget him, never. And so those are just another experience. So you heard me talk earlier about how my campaign signs became little beacons of hope within communities, where they became kind of the communication link from neighbor to neighbor. Um, People have asked me about those things and about this whole idea of community support, neighbor to neighbor type things, and clearly in our generation with nicer, bigger homes, we have garages. We tend to go in our houses, close the garage door, and stay more isolated with our homes. Like, unlike in years past, where the big porches and the kids would run around, everybody knew each other kids, and there was a lot of interaction within the community. We don't have that, and we need that. There's a group of men, as an example. There's a group of old men, old Republicans, farmers and business guys. They've been meeting at McDonald's for years at 6:30, at least 4 days a week, and they pay their 73 cents or whatever the senior cup of coffee cost. And the McDonald's folks, they just give them pot after pot after pot of coffee. And these guys talk about life. They talk about politics. They reassured me at a certain point. These are old Republicans. They said, John, we get it. We know what's happening in the county. We understand. Don't worry. And I thought, wow, how cool. And there were just more men coming in, just talking and being friends. We need to come back to that. You know, there's a lot of anxiety within communities within neighborhoods, because we don't talk. We don't share. We don't have the block parties. We're not meeting down at the library or at the farmer's market or other things that could bring us together. We need more of that so that we can get to know each other and trust each other and accept our differences more easily. So, yeah, that's what people want. That's what people want. They just don't know how to get it. They don't know how to do it. I would say the only way you do it is to do it. Just don't be afraid. Get your neighbors together and have an ice cream social on your street. Bring people together. That's what your neighbors want. I assure you, you feel that way, and I assure you your neighbors feel that way. And I'm that link because I can tell you they do. So do it. As I've said many times, I'm not a politician, so running a campaign was absolutely new to me. And but there were certain experiences that we had that I didn't expect. And so one dealt with doorbells. To me, this is a doorbell. You push a button, it rings inside, the person decides whether to come out and answer the door, and you have a conversation. Never in my wildest dreams did I expect that someone would be watching me on these new technology doorbells as I walk from their driveway, from the road up their driveway or cut across their lawn, that somebody would already be watching as I come up to their houses. That to me was a new experience. But yet people did. People still answered their doors. And that was pretty darn cool. I had people say to me, I normally don't answer the door. And I'm glad I did. And I'm glad you did too. And I wanted to thank you for doing that. The other thing that strikes me are dogs. Not everybody has these new technology doorbells, but it seems like everybody in Georgetown has a dog or two at least. And that was quite an experience. What I would have liked to have someone tell me in the campaign is that I should have been carrying dog treats, and because maybe that would have helped as dogs come rushing out of the house or just going crazy. And you can usually tell when someone's not home because the dogs are knocking your windows down. And I want to get away as quickly as I can so there's no damage in your house. But how nice is it that we have the dog park up on Fillmore, that we have the ravines. I'm up there all the time with my wife, and it's so much fun, and see all the people up there enjoying their dogs and having a good time outdoors. So it's another great thing about living in Ottawa County in Georgetown. There's just so many resources like that, and we can all share together. So thank you again. Okay, another big issue that kept coming up a lot was the negative press that Ottawa County has received over the last 2 years throughout the country. You know, and yes, we all know it existed. We all are tired of it. It's time for it to stop and turn the curve again and go in the positive direction. But what I'd like to talk about now is that we should celebrate all that we have here in Ottawa County. Just focus on Georgetown alone, right? We have the splash pad over at Maplewood Park. We have the Senior Citizen Center. What an amazing place. It's so active. There's so many people there. And man, if you get a chance to get over there and get that soup and salad bar for $7, it's amazing, right? Let's look at the dog park or all the hiking trails, or look at the library. How many activities and programs do they offer at that place? It seems unlimited. Just look at the number of things they're providing for children and young kids. You know, there's just so much. And then you have Hager Park. I mean, right in the middle of our midst, we've got a beautiful park, trails all over the place, a fort for the kids to run and jump. We have community centers that we can go and picnic places, and there's just so much, and it's right at our fingertips. So yeah, we have things that haven't been good in our county, or as far as our reputation, but we have so much to celebrate, not only as a people, but of our resources, right? And the people that have taken care of those and given those through our tax dollars and everything else. So let's celebrate who we are, what we have, and just know that we're incredibly blessed people, and not worry about so much negative all the time. We are good people. We have a wonderful place to live, and we're lucky, and darn lucky and blessed to be here. Thank you again. I'm out here with my beehives. We've got 2 hives going this year, and they're doing great. And I'm wearing white because white is not offensive to these bees, and so I don't want to get attacked. But if I leave them alone, they won't bother me. But what's interesting about bees, it's all about community. It's all about working for one cause, and that is to take care of themselves, make enough honey to survive the winter, and it's all about survival. We can learn lessons from bees and the sense of community. They all have a role to play. You have so many different jobs that these bees are doing inherently, instinctively, and to make it all good for all of them. And so that's our message. I think maybe my last message here is that we're a community of good people, a community that deserves each other, that have always taken care of each other. And this divisiveness that has happened over the last 2 years just isn't us. I said a long time ago that we were confused, but we're not lost in who we are as a people. I would say no, we're not even confused. We're just been led astray a little bit, but we're not lost and we're not confused. We have to remember who we are, and that is a people of good faith, goodwill to each other, and we can do better. So thank you again, and see you on August 6th.